I figured out was there's these three decisions. Most decisions are made unconsciously. And like 48% of what we do, depending on which doctor you read, is about habit. What's great about habit is you don't have to think. What's bad about habit is you don't change, right? And so most people make these decisions unconsciously. But what are they? One, you decide every moment of your life, you're making a decision consciously or unconsciously what to focus on. So if you focus on the worst scenario, of course, you're gonna feel sick to your stomach, right? And then you find out it's not true and you're fine, right? Focus equals feeling. But there's patterns of focus. So if I asked your audience right now, or all you guys, what do you think most people focus on more? What they have or what's missing?
The latter.
What's missing? And including super achievers. Like some of the biggest achievers are always focusing on what's missing because they're always trying to get to the next level. So what happens? As a result, when you're always focused on what's missing, you cannot sustain happiness. It has nothing to do with how intelligent you are. It's just like software. So you always look at what's missing, so you never feel fulfilled or alive, right? And so you keep being on the hamster wheel trying to do more, and it's never enough. That's what people end up being pushing and pushing and pushing, and you see them burn out, you have everything, and they're miserable. Second pattern. And by the way, we all do both. It's just where do you live more? And most people focus on what's missing. Do you think most people focus on what they can or can't control?
Probably the latter.
Can't is most people. Now, in my events, when I ask this to 15,000 people, most people focus on what they can control. That's why they're there, right? They came to take control of their body, their mind, or their business, or whatever, right? But for the average population, and during COVID, there's so much you can't control. It's easy to be focused on what you can't control, right? So what do you think happens to somebody who's constantly focusing on what's missing and constantly focusing on what they can't control? They're gonna be pissed or angry, overwhelmed, or stressed or depressed. Then add the third one, and I gave you a dozen, we'll just do three. What do you think most people spend their time more? The past, the present, or the future?
Future.
Future?
Probably a mix of the two, past or future. Definitely not the present.
Depends on the person.
Right.
Most achievers focus on the future. You are correct. Most people who are unhappy and frustrated, which unfortunately is the majority of humans, most people are not happy and thrilled and have a great body and a great relationship. We all can, but very few people do because they're focused on the past, and usually they can't change it. Or they focus on a future that they're concerned about. And either way, they're stressed. So I ask people, I got 20,000 people in a stadium, and say, how many of you know somebody who takes antidepressants and they're still depressed? And 85% of the hands go up. Do you guys know anybody like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't take any antidepressants anymore, but when I did, I was still completely, they do nothing.
So the question is, why is that? Well, on the side, it says create suicidal thoughts. That's a clue, right? But it numbs you, right? That's what it does. It doesn't change the source of the problem, which is your